Hi students, here is my next video on critical reasoning. This is about finding out an assumption in the argument. Let's go to the argument. Well, now that we are aware of what the argument presents, let's see what the question is. The question says, which of the following does the author assume in the above argument? Researchers found, according to the author, that there is a deviation of about 1% while tossing a coin. The one which is shown up obviously has more preference as it shows us. Then this appears to validate even the Stanford mathematicians' findings. So he more or less comes to a kind of conclusion that there is a 1% deviation. What is a possible assumption which leads to this kind of possible conclusion? Let's look at the given choices. A. The author was not in a position to accept any change in the percentage. Now, this appears to be somebody's opinion. The author was not in a position to accept. Author is presenting the researcher's findings and also trying to relate it to the Stanford mathematician's findings. Author is not in a position, we don't get that thought at all, that he is not in a position to accept any change. He just presents the findings. This choice appears to be very subjective. Hence, we can rule it out. Moving forward, researchers studied the coin flips to validate Percy Draconis' findings. Now, did they study to validate his findings? Well, nowhere in the argument does it say that whatever the researchers have found, right, is based on the Stanford mathematicians' findings. It is neither to validate nor to invalidate. So this choice appears to be incorrect and it is not a possible assumption. But every possibility that some students might run away with this as a possible assumption. The global currencies have different sizes and shapes, as it says. Now, this is very much given, right? They have used coins from 48 global currencies to prevent design bias. So when it is 48 global currencies, very clearly they should be of different sizes, shapes, etc. How can this be an assumption? This is very much given in the argument. What is given is not assumed. Let's move on to the next choice. When tossed, coins have equal chance of showing up on each side. Since there is a chance, since they can assume that there is a chance, equal chance of showing up on each side, there is a big discussion about the deviation. When flipped, can we say exactly, right, whether it is going to be on one side or the other side? We can't. So both sides have equal chance. Hence, a deviation is something which has come up for discussion. So they assume that it should be equal chance, but it appeared to be, or they found out to be a deviation of 1%. So based on this assumption, we can come to the kind of conclusion given in the argument. This appears to validate, because they found that there should have been equal chances for both sides, but they found that to be with a deviation. This is a possible assumption that leads to the conclusion. Finally, what they thought and what happened are two different things. This was their assumption that it should be equal, a possible assumption that we can take. Hence, the answer is choice D. As we move forward, students, in the next video, we'll come across an inference-based question, one of the most important questions once again. Thank you.